Good morning, historians. Welcome to a special edition of Documenting History. Today is a big day. It's November 6th, 2024, the day after the presidential election. I wanted to thank the historians who have subscribed to my channel. We're about 36 historians right now. The purpose of this video is to record history for future generations to enjoy, to listen to, and to check out the local history from years ago. I've been doing this now since I think April or May, and I will continue uploading daily snippets of the news while I commute to work. So we're waiting on the 8 o'clock a.m. headlines to get you the news for this area. Thank you again for watching and listening, and enjoy today's snippet.
61 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Well, AccuWeather says get your shorts back on today. It is going to be warm. We've got clouds and sunshine. High 78. We're going to break the record of 75 going back to 2022. Unbelievable fall we're having. More people get their news from 1010 Wins than from any other radio station in the nation. Phil Pilato's our service aide. Walter Geis, our senior writer. Justin Schrager's at the editor's desk. I'm Scott Stanford.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.
Sorry for the glare. Make sure to put on your historian sunglasses.
65 degrees. It is 8 o'clock on this Wednesday, November 6th. I'm Susan Richard. Here's what's happening. 45 is now 47.
This will truly be the golden age of America.
Donald Trump earns a decisive victory over Kamala Harris in the swing states to be reelected President of the United States. It was a good night for Republicans on Capitol Hill, where they flipped enough seats to retake control of the Senate. Closer to home, Democrat Andy Kim wins the Senate seat in New Jersey. Kirsten Gillibrand reelected in New York, as was Chris Murphy in Connecticut. Some local House races to tell you about, both Glenn Schuck and Sophia Hall coming up with those results. Also on the ballot, abortion, with a victory for pro-choice advocates in New York and a defeat in Florida. In sports, Islanders won. AccuWeather, unbelievably beautiful. Sun and clouds, breezy warm today, could hit 78. Winds news time 8:01. Traffic and transit with Karen Stewart.
Take mass transit instead of taking the Hudson River crossings. These numbers just skyrocketed very early, and now look what we're stuck with. The inbound Holland has an hour 10 wait from the 139 approach. An hour 10. Tonley Avenue is backed up to your house. 45 minutes to the inbound Holland from the New Jersey Turnpike approach. The inbound Lincoln is 45. The inbound George is 50 for both the upper and lower. That's from 80-95 approaches. From the Palisades, it's better with a 20 to 25 minute wait, and the outbound George is 40. Yes, the Grand Central accident at LaGuardia is gone. It's been cleared. The right and center lanes that were blocked have been reopened. Things are starting to ease, but the Whitestone Bridge still very nasty ride into Queens because of the backup there. New Jersey, the Garden State Parkway, southbound north of 160 for Rochelle Park has an accident that they're moving over to the shoulder. Thank you very much. And eastbound Route 22 is still shot through Newark at Waquake Park. Don't take it. Accident out there since 548. The right lane is blocked. Continue to take 78 instead. And on Long Island, the Northern State westbound at Roslyn Road 29 still has a broken down car. Doesn't seem to be bothering too many people there. And then in Elmont, eastbound Hempstead Turnpike and Hendrickson Avenue, we have an accident there in the fast lane. Again, take mass transit this morning. Traffic is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes around the clock. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Save for Thanksgiving at Whole Foods Market. Prime members get $365 by Whole Foods Market frozen whole turkey.
Got a Thanksgiving commercial here.
December 3rd. Carve this premium bird and impress your guests. While supplies last, shop in-store, online. Terms apply.
Donald Trump is heading back to Washington. Otis 45 has been reelected as the 47th president of the United States with the win in Wisconsin, the state that put him over the top in the Electoral College.
Took the stage just before 2:30 in the morning.
We're going to help our country heal.
Lydia Maldonado was there, a Palm Beach resident originally from Puerto Rico. She explained why she thinks there was a surge of Hispanic voters who turned away from Vice President Harris.
Instead of talking about economy, there was so much talking about the abortion. And Hispanics are very conservative. They're all about faith, family, and freedom.
She says the economy is what truly matters to voters.
That's correspondent Wendy Gillette. Trump not only earns the Electoral College, but the popular vote as well. Kamala Harris did not address supporters on election night. That is expected later today. Of course, when it happens, you will hear it live on 1010 Wins. The world's political leaders, including from Israel, Ukraine, the UK, France, and Italy, have begun congratulating the now president-elect.
Britain, Germany, and the EU political leaders on this side of the Atlantic have been quick to publicly congratulate Donald Trump in private.
I think that it would be untruthful to say that Europe was pleased with this result.
British lawmaker Emily Thornberry, the German and French leaders have already conferred on the implications of a second Trump presidency and what that might mean for NATO and the war in Ukraine. Silence from one quarter. The Kremlin says Russian President Vladimir Putin has no plans to congratulate Donald Trump.
That's correspondent Vicky Barker. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky saying he appreciates Trump's commitment to peace through strength, adding that Ukraine is interested in developing mutually beneficial political and economic cooperation. Not only did Democrats lose the presidential race, they also lost the Senate.
In West Virginia, Governor Jim Justice scored an early win, filling the seat that was held by Joe Manchin. Then Cleveland businessman Bernie Moreno beat longtime incumbent Sherrod Brown in Ohio. Each Republican incumbent reelected helped cement the gains. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas credited his win in part to a surge in support from Latino voters in counties on the U.S.-Mexico border.
We're going to have a Republican Senate next year.
In Nebraska, Senator Deb Fischer fended off a challenge from an independent newcomer. Senator Rick Scott of Florida says Washington is ready for a change.
Our work is not done.
As Mitch McConnell of Kentucky prepares to step down from the leadership position.
We need the Republican Party to start solving the problems of this country, and we have a significant number of problems.
Audio courtesy KTRK and WPLG TV. Jennifer King, Washington.
Some key local races we're following on 1010 Wins, including for U.S. Senate. Let's get that part of the story live from our Glenn Schuck in the 1010 Wins newsroom.
Little history here. Kirsten Gillibrand was appointed to the Senate in 2009 when Hillary Clinton left the United States Senate to become a Secretary of State with Barack Obama. So now Kirsten Gillibrand has won her third full term, this time by a 17-point margin.
This state has an extraordinary democracy. Our voters understand how important their voice is and how important their vote is. They were heard tonight, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you all, and God bless America.
In New Jersey, the race to fill the Senate seat long held by Bob Menendez stays Democratic. Andy Kim is the winner.
Whoever says young people don't care about politics haven't met the young people that are the engine powering campaigns all over this nation.
Big win over a Republican Curtis Bashaw by 8 points here. 42-year-old Kim, the first Korean American that will be in the Senate. Now, Connecticut two-term Democrat Chris Murphy easily also winning re-election to his Senate seat. So again, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, all three Democratic U.S. senators winning there. Now, two congressional races, Republican Tom Kean Jr. did win his re-election against a strong challenge from Sue Altman on the Democratic side. Josh Gottheimer gets another 2 years in Washington. The Democrat from Bergen and Passaic again wins, as does Democrat Mikey Sherrill, also a winner heading back to Congress from Central Jersey for another 2 years. As we've been talking about this morning, both Gottheimer and Mikey Sherrill are considering a bid for governor next year, so we'll see how that plays out. To the 17th Congressional District in the state of New York, Republican Mike Lawler in the Hudson Valley cruising to re-election. It was a rematch with Democrat Mondaire Jones, and again, Lawler wins it. Another critical seat in the Hudson Valley, Congressman Pat Ryan, who is a Democrat, wins, beating the Republican challenge from Allison Esposito. And a Republican representing upstate in the Finger Lakes region, that would be Congressman Mark Molinaro. He is out. He lost to the Democrat there, Josh Riley. So again, that summarizes all of that, and we'll continue to follow any numbers that may change. From our election desk, I am Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Out to Long Island now for our Sophia Hall.
Laura Gillen says she will fight to protect reproductive rights. The Democrat in a rematch from the 2022 race for Congress declared victory against Republican incumbent Anthony D'Esposito.
Something I hear about a lot at the doors is the cost of health care. Even if you're able to get insurance through the Affordable Care Act, many times it's not affordable. And I hear from a lot of parents saying, by the time my young adult child is done paying back their student loans and paying for their health insurance, there's nothing left for them to go out and be able to live independently. And people want their kids out of their basement, and kids want to move out of their parents' basement. So that's something that we need to tackle.
Another Democrat, Tom Swansea, won re-election and will remain in Congress. And Republicans Andrew Garbarino and Nick LaLota also retained their seats in Congress. Sophia Hall, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
Also on the ballot this election cycle, abortion.
Voters in Missouri cleared the way to undo one of the nation's most restrictive abortion bans, while Florida defeated a similar constitutional amendment. In Florida, it will leave in place a law barring most abortions after the first 6 weeks of pregnancy. Abortion right ballot measures passed in Arizona, Colorado, and Maryland. New York also voted to put abortion rights in the state constitution.
That's Matt Piper. Here in New York, the vote specifically protects against discrimination based on not only ethnicity, origin, age, disability, and sex, but also gender identity and pregnancy outcomes. Nevada voters also passed abortion protections, but that won't take place until it's approved again in 2026. In Nebraska, voters chose to keep that state's abortion restriction in place. Recapping, if you're just joining us on 1010 Wins, Donald Trump has won the presidential race, taking both the Electoral College and the popular vote. So the question now, what happens to his criminal cases?
Trump is among the January 6th defendant overall population. There are 1,500 people charged with the riot at the U.S. Capitol with an effort to overturn the 2020 election. Donald Trump has never answered, would he pardon all 1,500 plus of those defendants? He has promised pardons, but never said if it's for everybody, nor has he said if he would have his Justice Department shut down these prosecutions.
That's correspondent Scott McFarland. Trump cannot pardon himself in his state case and is still scheduled to be sentenced here in New York on November 26th for his conviction in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. That was for 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to influence the 2016 presidential election. That sentencing had already been pushed back until after the vote. At this point, it is not clear what the judge will do. The votes are still being counted in the gubernatorial race in Puerto Rico. If Jennifer Gonzalez wins, it'll mark the first time in the island's history that the new Progressive Party secures 3 consecutive terms. If the winner is Juan Dalmau, who is running for Puerto Rico's Independence Party and Citizen Victory Movement, that would mark a first. At last check, Gonzalez had an 8-point lead. Now this message, don't just live with foot pain.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this small snippet of today's news here in the New York metropolitan area. Thank you so much for your loyal viewership. Please share the channel, like and subscribe. Let's get some growth. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.